G'day guys, in this video I'm going to be covering the Thakhek Loop. I'm on my last day now of the Thakhek Loop and I'm going to be showing you all the different caves that you can explore along the journey, as well as exploring the rock viewpoint and a few of the different activities on offer here. I'm doing it in 4 nights, a lot of people do 3. I've added an extra night just to try and get a few more activities done. I reckon that's how long you need to fully appreciate everything that's on offer in the Thakhek Loop. So let's jump back to the start of the loop. The Thakhek Loop is a motorbike ride that takes place in the country of Laos. Landlocked, 5 different countries border it, most notably Thailand and Vietnam. I'd just flown into Vientiane, which is the capital, but I needed to make my way hundreds of kilometres to Thakhek. Instead of catching the overnight bus, I decided to fly to Savannakhet and catch a bus from there the following day. The 3 ways to visit Thakhek is a bus from the north, a bus from the south, or crossing the land border with Thailand. The Thakhek Loop is a common tourist loop, mostly done in an anti-clockwise direction. It is about 400 to 500 kilometres of riding, and most people will do this with 3 nights. However, I extended this trip to add another night, just to try and do a few more of the activities on offer and show you most of what is on offer around the loop. Throughout the course of the video, I'll record all the prices up in the top right corner. This will be ongoing for activities and transport, not including food and accommodation. I caught my flight from Vientiane to Savannakhet, then I got a shuttle to the bus terminal where I went and caught a bus. The timetables are completely wrong. There is not multiple buses per day. There is one local bus here. It was supposed to leave at 10. It left 40 minutes late. It took 3.5 hours instead of 2, and it was not very comfortable. However, it got me to Thakhek, where I was able to hire my little 125cc automatic scooter with a luggage rack, and then I was ready to start the Thakhek Loop the following day. Day 1 of the Thakhek Loop is possibly the busiest of all the days. I left early because I knew I had a lot to do. Unfortunately, this doesn't leave you many options for breakfast. After a brownie and a coffee at Cafe Amazon, I was back on the road towards an area they call Cave Alley, not too far out of Thakhek. Almost immediately out of town, you can see the karst limestone formations in the distance. So this was my first stop. This is Elephant Cave. Not the highest rated on Google reviews, but I was going to just drop in and check it out. It's only about 15 minutes out of Thakhek. Apparently it doesn't open till 8. It's only about 7:15 now. I'm not going to hang around. I was going to quickly stop in and check it out, but that's not going to happen anymore. So we'll move on to the next one, which also opens at 8. But hopefully by the time I get there, they'll let me in. So Elephant Cave is an option. It's very close to town. 10,000 kip is the parking fee. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I think the next one's a bit more impressive anyway. The road conditions on the Thakhek Loop are not the best. There's also a lot of trucks to try and avoid. Alright guys, so Elephant Cave was a no-go. Just on my way to the next one. This one apparently recently reopened, approaching 8 o'clock, so hopefully we can go straight into this one. There's no one else there. Unfortunately, we couldn't do Elephant Cave, but on the scale of where I wanted to see things, that was right down the bottom, so not too big a loss as far as I'm concerned. The scenery around here is magnificent. As soon as you leave Thakhek, which is on a plain, it's just these karst landscape formations, which is pretty cool. So far, loving it. Let's go. After about 15 minutes riding on this slight detour off the main loop, you'll arrive at the area for Tham Pa Sueam. 150,000 entry. There are actually 2 caves in this area, but I decided I need to check out the more impressive one. So I'm not going to pronounce this right, but this is Tham Pa Sueam. Just recently it's opened again, so the past couple of years they've been building this boardwalk. It's nice. I would have liked to have seen it. I think originally you just kind of had to wade through here, which I probably would have preferred, but this is nice as well. At least I'm not getting saturated first thing in the morning. Entrance was 150,000. I guess it's going to the development or the investment that's been put into this place. I think I might be getting bigger, or the cave is getting smaller. I'm not sure. Alright guys, that's cave number 1 really, not including Elephant Cave. There is another cave in this little area, sometimes called Buddha Cave, but I won't be stopping in there. Apparently it's quite small and I've got some better caves to check out on the loop today. So it's not possible to do every cave. I will be skipping the Buddha Cave in favour of seeing more quality than quantity. But just if you did want to, that is in this area as well. Time to take off and we're heading to Xieng Liap next. Riding back out onto the main road, turning left to continue the loop. The next cave is Xieng Liap. After entering, which is dirt cheap, you'll cross this little bridge before you get to the cave entrance itself. So this is cave number 2, Xieng Liap Cave. 10,000 kip parking, 10,000 kip entry. It used to be free, but I'm not complaining about that. That's like $1.20 to get in, which is more than enough, and they need money to pay the people and develop the place if possible, hopefully not overdevelop it. I'm not sure if I should have put some shorts on and my water shoes. I have a feeling that we're going to have to cross water at some point, so that will be interesting. This is Xieng Liap Cave. Shit's all over the other one so far. I've had to actually do a little bit of climbing up and across the river. You can wear shorts if you want to. You just wade through the river, but I didn't have that forward planning because I wasn't sure. So you can do it dry as well. A bit of climbing and jumping involved, but it's way more fun than that last cave, even though the last cave was beautiful. This one has 2 entrances. The main one, obviously, that we're looking at now, and then there's another one that you saw just before. I think this one will be pretty hard to beat just because of the untouched nature of it, and they don't force you to take a guide or anything like that. Just come through 10,000 kip and then you can go exploring by yourself. You can take a guide if you want. I am unsure on the cost of that, but the person who went in front of me, she had a guide as well, just to help her climb over the rocks and show her the path. But it's pretty grippy, so it's not too hard to find the way. I'm gonna go have a look at that second entrance now. I assume this is the end. Don't know if they've built out the sand here to give you a viewpoint. Either way, it's much appreciated. This is awesome. I think this is the end of the track, unless you start wading out into the water, which I'm not going to do today. Yeah, Xieng Liap Cave, I think, should be on everyone's to-do list, given what I've seen today. And now it's time to climb back without stacking it, move on to the next one. Just gone 10:15, still got a lot to see, and a fair way to drive, about 100 k's or so. The next place to drop in around the loop is called Tha Phalang. It's not a cave, it is a tourist location. It's more based around the river and the huts along the river, as well as the rental of kayaks. So this is Tha Phalang. This is resort-ish. It's free entry. There's a restaurant, some nice bungalows, you can rent kayaks, and I'm pretty sure you can go for a swim if you want. I'm probably going to eat here. I know it's going to be more expensive, and I'm already here and I'm starving, so I'm going to enjoy the good views and the nice breeze and enjoy my food here. So yeah, this is Tha Phalang. This is, it seems like a bit of a touristy sort of thing for maybe for people that are staying in the area a lot longer, but I thought I'd check it out anyway. So that's Tha Phalang. I had lunch there and now we're moving on. We've got 2 more caves to check out today. We've still got about 2 hours drive to get to where I want to get to tonight, which is Nam Thuen for accommodation. So we'll head off now to a smaller cave. After that we'll head to Tham Nang Ene, but for now it's Phaya In, which is quite a small one. Hopefully only takes 5 minutes. Getting to Phaya In from Tha Phalang is quite easy. It's only about 5 minutes away, a handful of kilometres. However, the turn-off is not very well marked, so keep your eyes peeled. You seen the cave? No? So this is the entrance to Phaya In Cave. I think it's 10,000 kip entry. A bit of a small one, so we'll just rush through this one actually. I just want to get to Tham Nang Ene Cave, and then we've got a fair bit of driving to do after that. This whole section, just out of Thakhek, we haven't actually gone that far. It's known as Cave Alley. All the caves we saw today, plus the Buddha Cave, which we didn't, Elephant Cave, which we didn't, but these are a couple of the main ones along this little stretch. After this will be Tham Nang Ene. Then we'll have a bit of a boring patch where I'm just gonna hit the road and try and get down to Nam Thuen, where I've got accommodation. That's the blind man. He asked for 10k, sometimes he gives you bracelets. I didn't have 10, I gave him 20, he gave me 5 change, which means somebody else has given him a 5 and told him it's a 10. Okay, so this is Phaya In Cave. This is the smallest one we've seen today, but probably I'd rank it as number 2 so far out of 3, just because of the view behind me. Basically, when you come down through the entrance, you crawl down, you're almost at the water level, and you get this awesome viewpoint where the sun's shining in from somewhere else in the limestone. And it's almost like this mirror image, this perfect symmetry. And again, without all the artificial lighting, you've just got natural light coming in from the main entrance, and then again through whatever is over there. There must be, not sure if it's an entrance or just a sort of skylight. So time to move on to the next cave, maybe 5-10 minute ride. And it's definitely time to head off to Nam Thuen. I'm running late-ish now. Just got to climb back up there. The last cave on my list today was Tham Nang Ene. Tham Nang Ene Cave is probably one of the more popular ones. It is definitely one of the more crowded ones. This whole scene on the GoPro gives a good indication of what the Thakhek Loop is like. Lots of trucks sticking over to the far side of your lane just to avoid them, and having to suffer the potholes. Tham Nang Ene is one of the more built up caves along Cave Alley. There are restaurant options here, so it's a good place to have lunch if you haven't already. I think I was meant to buy the boat ticket at the front, which I must have missed it. Probably looking at the camera screen and not paying attention. Just a good reminder that meditation can calm your mind, Okay, so this is the end of the road of Tham Nang Ene Cave. The rest of it, as you can see, you need a boat for. I should have bought the boat ticket out the front. I'm not going to walk back and buy it now, just because I'm running out of time basically. Still got to get to Nam Thuen, got a lot of riding to do. Well, this cave alley is right near Thakhek, so we haven't actually gone that far yet. It's always good to leave something to come back for. If I ever get the time to come back or come through with someone else, then we can take the boat. Unfortunately, got to go, but that's the way it is sometimes. Gonna quickly check out Pha Katai Viewpoint, and apparently it's a little bit dodgy, which for some reason is kind of drawing me towards it. After leaving Cave Alley, there really isn't too much to do. You need to try and make some good kilometres here. However, Pha Katai Viewpoint is right along the loop, so I thought I'd stop in and check it out. Alright guys, this one is actually closed, so there is a gate at the front, it's locked, and then there was a bridge. I mean, there's still a bridge, but they've blocked that as well. It used to be open, so you're not allowed here. If you get hurt, it's your own fault, because they've done all they can to block it. But most people just jump the fence and go up to this. This is Pha Katai Viewpoint. Anyway, so I'm going to climb up. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take too long, 15 minutes to get up, 20 minutes. But yeah, it's part of an abandoned building. I think it used to be a water park. Technically not allowed here, so there is no entrance fee because there is no tour operating. I'm not expecting a high standard build quality, and I am going to have to be really careful about where I step. As expected, the build quality was lacking. There are lots of cracked welds, missing handrails, and it is quite a steep and sweaty climb. This is the Pha Katai Viewpoint. As you can see, it is pretty dodgy. A lot of creaking welds, dodgy timber, so come in at your own risk and definitely take it easy. If you're smart and you watch where you're going, you should be fine. See bits like this, there's timber missing. So I'm just gonna have a quick look at the viewpoint now and head down. This was kind of an addition to today's itinerary, so I'm losing a lot of time. View up here is great. The way up here is not. It is free entry. There is some risk involved. This is Pha Katai Viewpoint. It's on the way. It doesn't require any detours, so if you're up for it, go for it. I don't think you'll regret it if you make it down. I mean, as far as I know, no one's died so far, but just be careful when you get to the top. Floorboards that I'm standing on now are not pinned down. They're almost just wedged together, and they just sit on the beam by about 20 mil, but I wouldn't trust them for much longer, put it that way. There's a reason this place is closed. Some people like that sort of thing, just a bit more of a risky adventure. Given the time in the afternoon now, I really needed to put my head down and keep riding. There's not too much to see on the way into the Thakhek National Park area. However, there is a visitor centre for the Nam Thuen Dam, and there is also Song Sa waterfall. However, the reviews for this in the dry season are not great. Because of this, I just kept riding to my accommodation in Nam Thuen. I decided to stay at Pho Si Thalang. For anyone staying at Pho Si Thalang or Sabatia Guest House, which are the two main options, don't follow Google Maps, follow the signs. You definitely don't want to cross the river. So it's been a mad rush just staying at Pho Si Thalang. Reason being it's a bit quieter than Sabatia Guest House, so it's 400,000 for the night. Yeah, after Pha Katai Viewpoint, I lost my sunnies there, which is a shame, but it's still worth it. And then I just had a mad rush to get here in time, just to try get a room set up before the sunset. So there is a restaurant here. I'm probably just gonna eat here because it is easier. Enjoy the views over the water. I kind of miss the sunset. That bell basically means it's dinner time. That applies to the cow and it applies to me too. I am starving. That's day one on Thakhek Loop. Lessons learned. Take care of your sunnies.
Soft, turn the key and cooler on. Push a pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through.
G'day guys, this is morning number 2, or day 2 of the Thakhek Loop, just at Pho Si Thalang, and today we're going to head off to Lor Cave, so it's a big day of driving. I'm just going to have breakfast. I'm waiting for it to start at 7 o'clock, sorry. I wish it opened at 6, but it doesn't. We've got less activities today. Day 1 is a very busy day. In the end, it all worked out pretty well because I got here just in time, just before the sun was going down. By the time I ate, charged everything, it was pretty much time to go to sleep, so I didn't have much free time. Today, I'm hoping for a little bit more. We've got more riding to do, but less activities, so we'll see how that balances out and what time we arrive in Lor.
I've got better things to do. Okay.
With a long day of riding ahead of us today, I left reasonably early, straight after breakfast. As you cross the bridge, you can see Fosi Thalang and Sabadee Guest House over my right shoulder. This is why you shouldn't follow Google Maps directions to get there. You need to turn off before you cross the bridge. My first stop for today, we're heading towards the sandstone Buddha sculptures, which is right along the loop road.
Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and let.
Alright guys, so this is the first stop for today. This is the sandstone Buddha statues. Carvings, I'm not sure if you call them statues, or very small sort of site on the side of the road. I'm literally almost standing on the road. Not too much traffic at this time. Yeah, worth a quick stop. There's not really much to do. You take a few photos with it. Could say some prayers if you're a Buddhist, I guess. Yeah, so I left a little bit later than I wanted to today, just because of how long it took to get breakfast. I am in desperate need of fuel. I've gone down to 2 bars, almost at 1 bar now. There is a fuel station about 13 k's to the north of here, so I'm gonna go fill up and then we'll head off to the next attraction and see what that is.
The attractions on day 2 are very few and far between. However, there are the random viewpoints that are worth stopping at, just to have a break and stretch your legs, or take some photos.
Be the cat inside.
Alright guys, so we've had a bit of a drive, maybe 40 minutes to an hour from leaving Thalang, the national park sort of area around the river and the flooded forest. We've only really had the sandstone Buddha to stop at so far, but it's good. We've got a long drive today to get to Khong Lor, so I've spent the time driving through Laos at the moment. This is a turning point in the trip, literally. If you're doing this off a paper map, this is a place you want to mark, because you come into the city or town and you chuck a left to head west towards Khong Lor. It's a reasonably larger city, so I spent the time to try and find some sunglasses because I lost mine yesterday at Pha Katai Viewpoint. The selection was not great, but if you go to the supermarket, they have some. If you can't get the best, get the biggest. That's what I went for. So these are the biggest ones I could find. Look, they do the job. They stop the wind from hitting your eyes and all the bugs and the rocks that get spit up from behind the trucks. That's basically all it's there for. It allows me to ride a little bit faster. Do they look good? It's questionable. Everyone might have different opinions, but these will do the job.
Shortly after leaving Laos, we head to Wat Pa Pha Nang Non. None of these activities are must-see things, but there's not much else to do on the loop.
Just on the outskirts of Laos, we have Wat Pa Pha Nang Non. This is sort of under construction. It's just a Buddhist temple, a little statue underneath the cast limestone backdrop. So it's pretty cool sort of scenery to come out and have a look around. It is a slightly elevated platform, so you can look out across to the other side where there's more cast limestone sort of mountain ranges and ridges and stuff. So yeah, this is just a brief stop on the way through. I don't think there's an entrance fee. Nobody's come up to me and asked for one. There's no gate or anything. You just kind of walk in here.
Back on the bike and about 15 minutes to the west, we have the main attraction of the day, which is Dragon Cave. There's no dragons, but there is a cave. There is a lookout called Eagle Lookout, and there is also a temple.
Nothing but the best parking for me. On my way down to Dragon Cave now. This is the main attraction of today. So there's a temple this way and the cave. It's mostly just riding today. This is probably the big thing that you want to see if you're going to stop. Most people will stop here. I didn't see anyone at the sandstone Buddha, and I didn't see anyone at Nam Rong Temple either. So here there are a fair few people. It just goes to show how popular it is, I guess. So yeah, let's have a look around Dragon Cave and the lookout within the cave. 50k entry, for this place, which is definitely very reasonable. This is cool. This is lit up enough that you don't really need a head torch, but they haven't overdone it with all the bright colours. And even the boardwalk itself is very minimalist, just to keep you out of the water, really. The water is perfectly still. Can't see many fish moving around or anything. Some pretty cool reflections. I assume the part that I'm walking in now in the wet season would be a river, but at the moment, late Jan, it's a sandbed. You got water back towards the entrance, but it is clear where we are now. It's hard to compare all these caves because they all become a bit of a blur. This small one, Phaya In with the reflection, was a highlight for photography reasons, but just for like the rawness of walking through them. Dragon Cave at the moment and Xieng Liap are the highlights so far.
Just at the top of these stairs is the way to Eagle Lookout.
Bit of a steep climb, pretty warm here, hoping there's a breeze at the top.
If you're ever lost on a jungle trail to a lookout, just look for these polished bits. This is from heaps of boots, constantly taking the surface off. Makes it really slippery, so be careful when you're standing where everyone else has stepped. But it's a really good indicator that you're going the right way. Another good indicator is stairs. Stairs are a really good indicator that you're going the right way.
I open my front door, the air feels so strange. Names and shapes all starts to change. But I see you clearly, like ink on a page. You'll be my pick of the day. Through the lines and climb new heights. Don't be scared, 'cause I'll be there. Let's go together. Hey,
We made it. You can tell this is a viewpoint because of the way it is. I think it's called the Eagle's Viewpoint. Gotta go climb down now. Alright guys, so I've just done the little section past the staircase to the lookout. It's only another 50 metres or so, and then it comes to this little cavern here. All in all, great experience, especially for only 50,000. It's hard to rank them all because they all offer something different, but this is a really cool experience. You got the lookout and the cave combined, 50,000. It's right on the way through to Kong Lor, so it's not like you have to detour at all. There's literally no reason not to do this one. Today's list of activities to do along the way are not as big, so definitely worth stopping in here. I might stop in for a swim at a cool pool or cool springs. I think it's more likely that I'll just drive to Kong Lor and relax for the afternoon. Have a pretty busy day tomorrow with Kong Lor and Nam Non Cave, so I'm going to head out now. Awesome experience, Dragon Cave. Just quickly, on the way out, it's only like a 2 or 3 minute detour walk. Got this temple if you wanted to check it out. It's pretty small, a few Buddha statues and colourful ribbons. You know how it is, you know the score.
As you leave Dragon Cave, there really isn't too much to do between here and Kong Lor or Na Hin, depending on where you want to stay. There are some cool springs with pretty average reviews, so I decided to skip them. There is also this bridge crossing the river, which offers a nice landscape, and the chance to look at the bomb boats.
So I'm just here. This is another tourist checkpoint. It's the bomb boats. This isn't really something interesting to me, but since I skipped the cold springs, just thought I'd kill some time, get some photos of the bomb boats. But the view on the bridge is quite nice. So yeah, we'll just have a look around here.
The bomb boats are not actually made out of bomb casings. They are made out of the large fuel tanks that bombers discarded over the country or this region during the Vietnam War. As we leave the bomb boat viewpoint, we get into some of the best riding of the entire loop. The road down from the mountain pass, just to the east of Nam Thuen, is a brand new road, free of potholes, nice and wide and in really good condition.
Alright guys, we just turned from Nam Thuen, we're heading south now. This is the loop. It's not part of a loop in the sense, but this is what the whole thing was built around. We're going towards Lor Cave. So got to make it pretty early, but at that awkward kind of time, it's not enough to view Lor Cave today, and it's not really enough to view the one other thing I wanted to do in the area, which is Nam Non Cave. So I am going to Nam Non. There's a restaurant there, and I'm going to have a feed, maybe have a quick look at it, but I'll go back tomorrow after visiting Lor Cave. So that ride through Nam Thuen, just before Nam Thuen, coming down that mountain pass, best ride of the trip so far. Views are fantastic. The road is brand new. I can't complain except when the truck's in front of you. A lot of people, or not a lot, but some people choose to spend day 2 or night 2 in Nam Thuen, do this ride in the early morning to visit Lor, and then back to Nam Thuen on the same day. I'm going to go stay in Lor. Gives me a bit of a sleep in, and I guess on day 2 there's not really that much to do. Dragon Cave's the only one I would say that's a must see. All the other activities I went to were not that great, to be fair. The cave was a clear highlight. The temple, the sandstone Buddha, yeah, it's worth doing because there's not much to do, but you could easily skip it. Honestly, if I had my time again, I would spend the night in Nam Thuen like I did, and then I would spend more time there during the morning and just enjoy it. Fuzzy Balang had free kayaks. In hindsight, I should have done that. I thought the riding would take longer today than it did. Hasn't taken that long at all. So, you know, I'm approaching Lor now with not enough time to do anything, but with plenty of time left in the day. So yeah, it's kind of not the best timing by myself. In hindsight, would have done it differently. But let's go have a look. I just need a coffee, maybe a little snack, explore the area around Lor, you know, finding accommodation, all this sort of stuff. So this is the road down into Lor from Nam Thuen. So yeah, let's check it out. This is Nam Non Cave Resort. Probably won't go in today, just wanted to check out how hard it is to access, and it's not hard at all. And see if they got coffee and food. So Spring River will be my first choice if I can get one of the houses on the river. They also have garden view, but it's like a shared bathroom. It's more like a bungalow sort of thing. So if I can get the river lodge, that's the whole point of going to Spring River Resort, then I'll take it, even though it's probably going to cost a bit more. Otherwise, I'm going to head in. It's only like another 2k to get to Lor Central, I guess you'd call it. and there is a Lor Cave guest house which has also got great reviews, so let's check out if they got any river lodges. Not interested in the garden ones. Try and fix my drone, which I crashed. Don't think I'm going to be able to fix it. Maybe I can super glue it together. Alright guys, so the day kind of got away from me there. I've went to Spring River Resort. They didn't have any river lodges, and that's why I drove down to, I think this is Lor River Resort, also on the river, as you can see behind me. Got ensuite aircon. These are new, so ensuite aircon, decent sized bed, can charge on my camera, it's got Wi-Fi and a hot shower. That's all I need. And yeah, they do all the river activities, tubing, kayaking. I won't be doing that, obviously. They do offer kayak tours through to Lor, but I'm just going to do the normal tour that everybody else does, just so I can show you what it looks like. But that would be a pretty cool experience to do as well, to kayak through yourself. The people here have been really helpful, so my afternoon, basically, after checking out a few accommodation options, I've been chatting to the girls at the desk there, and then she jumped on the scooter, rode me down to a shop that she knew of that sells super glue. My only possible fix for the drone, temporary fix, is to glue the arm in the flying position, hope it holds, and then replace it when I get back to Australia. Being in that position, it might get broken off again in the bag as we travel, but I'll deal with that when it comes to it. Either way, it's going to have to get replaced. Lor River Resort, this is a newish one. Every bungalow is separate, so you don't have shared walls with your neighbour, which is awesome. Pretty much, hopefully keeps the noise down. The views are awesome, and yeah, with the river here, it is dry season, so kind of getting towards the end of dry season, probably not the best for the kayaking and the tubing. I'm going to enjoy a bit of relaxing time now, just do some stretches, have a shower and whatnot, and then tomorrow's Lor Cave, which is supposed to be the highlight of the whole trip, so yeah, it should be good. And then we'll check out Nam Non Cave as well on the way back to Nam Thuen. So yeah, a couple of caves tomorrow, some of the better ones on the loop, so I'm looking forward to it.
Having spent the night in Lor, it was only about 5 minutes to ride down to Lor Cave at 8 AM for the opening time. Lor Cave tour involves getting on a boat through an underground river that traverses a mountain range 7.5 kilometres before popping out the other side to Natani village. I decided to start the tour as early as possible, basically bang on opening time, to try and avoid the crowds.
Right guys, so this is Lor Cave. I've got here just before 8, I mean it's past 8 now, 6 past 8. Bought ticket, prices on the screen, 350,000 for a single person. Pretty steep, but this is the main reason that this whole loop exists anyway. It's the main attraction, so let's see how good it is. Starting to heat up with this walk, but from what I read, it gets cold in there on the boat, so I'm wearing a jacket just for the boat ride. But the walk through the sand is pretty taxing. First thing in the morning, when your muscles aren't really warmed up yet. It's okay, I have one in my bag. Now this is Lor Cave. This goes through basically that limestone cast ridge line that you saw all around town, goes through. There's another town on the other side. It's about 7.5 kilometres long. So we've got a boat ride. Oh, it's probably not good for the camera, but we've got a boat ride of, I think about an hour and a half on the way there with a few stops, and then on the way back it's quicker because you don't stop. This is stunning scenery so far. So this is Lor Cave. The only thing from my personal experience that I can relate it to would be the Puerto Princesa underground river in the Philippines. This is, like you go further through, you actually come out the other side. Whereas the underground river, you kind of go in and turn around. The underground river is a lot more peaceful because they just row the boats. This one you're really powering through, but it's awesome. Not as scenic as the underground river, but the fact that you can come out the other side of the mountain, there's another town and village, and it's just like a connection point to a different world. That's pretty cool.
Before it's too late, why we keep falling through.
I love how nothing's really explained to you. The fact that the driver's not coming with me makes me think that this is just a little stop. We go for a walk, take some photos, then we go back to the boat. This part of the cave's really opened up. Some awesome formations in this bit.
Why we keep waiting for eons, like time's been frozen, never to.
So this little walkway, 100 metres, 2-minute walk up here and back to the boat. It's good at the moment being early. There was one other couple here, one other boat at this little land visit, and they pretty much come up and they're gone, so you get the whole place to yourself. So coming early has proven to be a good choice. Just going to try to snap some quick pics here. I can hear another boat coming now, so I'll try to get some photos before they come and then head back to the boat.
Ocean breeze blowing in your hair.
Jumping back on the boat, it only took about 5 minutes before we were at our next land stop.
He's got bigger legs than me. So the boat driver's just buggered off. I assume we walk across here and meet him on the other side. Or maybe there's something to see up here. All the lights just went off. These lights are supposed to be on. It was lit up. As I got here, everything tripped.
It's you that I adore.
I think this section is supposed to be partially lit up by those floodlights. As we were pulling in, I saw some blue lighting and stuff like that through this section. But yeah, everything has kind of gone out. So it's all dark at the moment, but just walking over this little crest. Just not sure if I'm missing out on anything. Oh, there's some bats. Power just came back on.
For just a little more. My mind.
I don't know why I was reading online to bring a jacket. It's effing pretty sticky, but maybe that gets cooler the deeper we go on the boat ride. At the moment, my suggestion would be don't bother with a jacket.
Before it's too late.
The lights went out behind me. I think I'm getting timed out like a long speech at the Oscars where they just play the music. It's pretty cool. I think my boat driver must be getting impatient by now. Try to get a move on.
Should I be leaning on each other all the way? While we keep waiting for eons, like time's been frozen, never too late.
So we've just finished the second land stop, which had some pretty cool formations. I'd say at this point forward, the temperature drops a little bit. No lights through here, so it's pretty cool. Just the head torches. I bought my own. They do offer you one at the entrance, but I got this new one, so I kind of wanted to test it out. The coolness of the trip so far is just refreshing after that walk, which is quite humid. Still can't see the need for a jacket, but if you wanted to put one on for this section, it would be worth it. Some people also recommend waterproof bags. Look, it might be handy, but not necessary. I'll just put my bag on the front of the boat. It's not gonna seep through unless we tip over. Actually, I'm not sure about where we are now, but I think it's pretty shallow most of the way through in dry season. If you did fall out, you'd probably be standing. So yeah, let's sit back and enjoy the boat noise now. See what the other side's like.
The one we waited for. If you take my lead, it's you.
Stopped briefly. There's an awesome photo opportunity here. It's just really hard to take photos because there's just people everywhere all the time, or the boat driver's waiting for you. So you kind of feel a little bit rushed, but the view as we come out this second entrance is really good.
I compare. 'Cause this is our chance, the one we waited for. If you take my lead, it's you that I adore. Why don't we go high and trust in foolish hearts? It's why we keep falling
So just for reference, in case anyone was unaware, when you come out of the cave, it is bright. And it's about 9:30. It's about an hour and a half since I bought the ticket. We've exited the cave, we're just making our way down the river. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just thought the village would be like right outside the cave. But yeah, it's a good kilometre or so away so far. So this side of the river is a lot more picturesque than the other side of the river.
Let's go together back to where we belong.
All right, this is us, and I think I get a quick stop at the village here and then we head back.
Truth be told, the village stop was a little bit confusing to me. I wasn't 100% sure what the boundaries were and where we were meant to go. It's quite a small area, so I had a little walk around, met some of the local kids, and took some photos of the information signs. There is a sign saying that you need to get to your boat within a certain amount of hours. I didn't realise it at the time, but the French looks like a number 2 here. I thought the numbers was just missing, and I wasn't sure how long we had before the boatman left. Feel free to pause these for any information, but the village, for me, not a highlight.
All right, guys, so it's about 10:05, and I've decided just to head back. I've got to check out of the accommodation about 12-ish, so, and I want to check out Nam Non Cave. Now, the village itself, it's nice to walk around. Felt like I was missing something, like I wasn't sure if I was meant to go further than that little landing area. Half an hour was enough for me. I'm more into the cave side of it than I am villages. Time to turn back and go check out Nam Non Cave. All in all, a nice experience. That's Lor Cave. I think you can rent bikes and stuff. I don't know how long you're allowed to stay before your boat leaves, because there's a sign there saying that if you stay a certain amount of time, you'll have to get another boat back, but it doesn't tell you how much that time is. Now we are going with the flow of the water this time, and there are no land stops, so it should be a much quicker journey back, so I'm just going to enjoy the views. This is the one section that we had to get out, and off he goes without me. It's getting a bit busier now, probably approaching 10:30. I've seen a few boats going past. It's not busy if you compare it to Puerto Princesa Underground River, for example, but compared to what we had this morning, when I got to the Natan village, there was only about 3 or 4 boats there. This is that original landing point, first one. All right, 10:39 and we're back. Look at the amount of people coming now. Honestly, that was about 40 people just walked past. Yeah, pretty glad I went early. That's ridiculous. That's the benefit of coming early. So that's about a 40-minute boat ride to get back. But I've got to go check out soon and head off to Nam Non Cave, which could be another couple of hours inside there. So today's going to go pretty quick. This entrance is nice. That's a review for you. Nice. This entrance is awesome. The light here has got like this bluish and orangish tone. It's orange down low and blue up top where it's reflecting off the water. It's a good half-day activity. 11 o'clock now. Next is Nam Non Cave. Gonna get a coffee in town. They do coffee in the village, but I didn't really want a black coffee. I wanted more of a foamy machine-style coffee. All right, camera's going away now.
1 hour later.
Just leaving the Riverside Resort now. Heading back to Nah Inn for tonight. On the way, just gonna stop in at Nam Non Cave where I went the other day, but didn't have enough time to visit. So we're gonna go inside today, have a look at it.
Having been to Nam Non Cave already yesterday for lunch and a coffee, I knew exactly what was in store for getting there. It's quite easy, only about 10 kilometres to the north of Lor Cave. Chuck a right down this dirt road, and before you know it, you'll be at the cave.
Yes, this is Nam Non Cave, about 15 minutes ride out of the Lor sort of area. So yesterday, there's a lot of confusion about the guided tours and how long they take, and the lady was telling me maybe the half day would be a 2-hour tour, but then I've rocked up today and they're saying the half day tour take about 4 hours, and I just don't have time to do the 4-hour tour, so I'm just going in by myself. You can do it unguided, just 50,000 kip, and you go in until you get bored, pretty much. I heard from some people yesterday as they were leaving that you go in a certain way and it's all good, and then eventually you run into a lot of insects and stuff attracted to the head torch, and that's the point that they turned around. To be honest, I'll probably do the same thing. Yeah, this is Nam Non Cave. The sheer size of this place is what's going to be hard to show or portray on the camera. Camera doesn't see as much as you can see with your eyes, especially in the dark. It's massive and it just keeps going. So the light at the moment is going probably 250 metres in around this corner. That's where we're headed next. This is cool. Just being able to walk around, like the guided tour would be awesome as well. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to do that. So I'm starting to get some bugs around. We are in the pitch black section. Tiniest bit of light I think I can see from the entrance. Probably 500 or 600 metres in now. The floor is a lot of this sort of stuff. Uneven underfoot, you can't make good time. And you want to use your headlamp to look at the awesome cave and how big it is. But you got to keep looking down at the ground or risk rolling an ankle. Too many bugs now. I'll go low light. See how long it takes the bugs to come get me. I'm going to make my way back to the entrance now. The bugs are quite annoying. That hit my ankle. Turn it off. This is awesome, definitely worth it. Place is massive. I'm just on my way back out now. Probably only went about 1 kilometre. The bugs start to get way too bad. Just attacking their head torch, so best to hold it down low and keep moving forward if you want. But I decided just to turn around. The guides go in about 5 kilometres on the half day one. That's not even the end of the cave system. This cave system is massive. This is 50,000 kip. Why wouldn't you? This is on the way to and from Lor. There is a resort here as well if you wanted to stay at Nam Non. That would give you more time to do a full day or half day tour and just explore further into the cave with some guidance and a bit more history about how they found it and how much of it has been discovered and all that sort of stuff. It's massive, and we're talking like 10 kilometres, 20 kilometres plus. It just keeps going. The ceiling where I am now, 25, 30 metres, and it didn't really get much smaller the further back you went. To be honest, I rate this just as much as Lor. Lor's got the wow factor of being on a boat through a river and coming out the other side. This, don't know if it does come out another side. Even if it did, good luck finding it because it's a long way. Now I'm going to head into Nam Thuen. Normally on the Thakhek Loop you would do 3 nights, as in tomorrow you would leave from either here or Nam Thuen and you'd head back to Thakhek. I have a bit of extra free time. I have a bit of extra time. I'm going to do some zip lining, abseiling at the rock Viewpoint. I want to go swing past, I want to check it out, ask them about which packages. There's 2 that I want to do. If I can fit both in one day, awesome. And then I'll drive back to Thakhek on the day after that, which is 1 day more than a normal Thakhek Loop. So I'm going to head into Nam Thuen. I need to hit up a bike repair shop, see if they have any silicone or something. I want to fix my drone, even temporarily. I want to find accommodation and I want to check out the rock Viewpoint, which is about 20 minutes detour each way out of Nam Thuen. So yeah, I've got a bit to do, even though it's still early-ish, it's 2 o'clock now. all this stuff's going to take up the rest of my afternoon. Of all the caves I've visited, this might be one of the coolest. It's just it's massive, it's not lit, and you don't have to take a guide. I don't know how long that'll last. These things always change. So yeah, come and check out this cave before it all changes.
Since time had got away from me so much, I needed to go straight to the rock viewpoint before the offices closed and I could ask them about the 2 packages that I wanted to do. So I went to the rock before heading into Nam Thuen. I only just made it, almost running out of fuel.
Okay, so I made it without running out of fuel. It's touch and go, but it's all downhill here to the petrol station. Just booked in 2 half-day courses, the half-day zip line and another one which is Tham Pong Cave. So that's tomorrow's activities sorted. That's a full day. I'm going to be exhausted by the end of it, but this is why I booked that extra day. 100 US for the Tham Pong Cave and then 60 US, I think, or 65 US for the half-day zip line. Now, if you do stay at the rock, you get 20% discount. It would have been easier in hindsight. It's a 3-minute scooter ride instead of 15, but staying in Nam Thuen gives me more food options and a little bit cheaper accommodation. It's a shame in a way because the views here are great. Would have been awesome to be here at sunset, but I'm going to get heaps of good views on the activities tomorrow. I need to go get fuel, dinner, accommodation in Nam Thuen. Alright guys, so I'm back in Nam Thuen now. Where I am now is Farm View Guest House. 2 nights here, got a full day booked tomorrow. This works out in kip to be 4,150,000 kip. The rock viewpoint for the private cabin, even if I did get the 20% discount, would have worked out as about 4.5 million kip. So this is cheaper. That's not the reason I did it. It's just a trade-off. Being able to walk around, have multiple different coffee shops and restaurants and just something to look at during the afternoon. Although, on the flip side of that, if you stay at the rock viewpoint, the thing that you're looking at is that awesome viewpoint, which is good, and I would have liked to have been there at sunset. But again, there's always something to come back to if I ever do the loop again. Then next time I'll stay at the rock viewpoint. For now, pretty happy with this. There's plenty of good guest houses in Nam Thuen. There's probably 3 or 4 highly rated ones, and it's only a 12-minute ride down to the rock viewpoint. That is it for today. 2 caves, really, that's all we've done, but geez, they took some time and they were impressive. Tomorrow, zip lining, abseiling, spider net things, bridges, activities. Just to the rock viewpoint, I've inhaled a lot of dust. The road to get here is shit house. There's so many potholes, so many trucks, but I'm here now, rock viewpoint, gonna have breakfast at the cafe and then get ready for the half-day zip lining course. But there are more trucks in Laos than any other country I've ever been to, I think.
The rock viewpoint marks a final stop for a lot of people on their journey around the Thakhek Loop. For me, I had 1 extra night compared to the ordinary 3-night tour, so I had a full day worth of activities here. Normally, people will come here for a half a day and then ride back to Thakhek. The 2 most common bookings for people doing the Thakhek Loop is the introductory 2-hour activity, which is 5 zip lines and a suspension bridge. Above that sits the half-day course, which jumps up to 12 zip lines, 2 suspension bridges and some via ferrata. There is also a full-day course, as well as Lor Cave and Pong Cave. I'd booked in a half-day course before lunch, then I was going to have lunch and do Pong Cave afterwards. Feel free to pause and look at the screen recordings, or visit Megaworld Asia's PDF folder on the right, or Green Discovery Laos website shown on the left. Just waiting around for the tour to start. I was hoping to get away a little bit earlier. It's 8:34 now, we still haven't even got harnesses on. Starting to warm up, and I've got the tour to do as well after lunch, so I wanted to get both of them done in good time, but at the moment I think we're running late. Good fun actually. This is done a lot of similar activities, but this is by far the best one that I've done of this kind of zip lining via ferrata. The landscape is incredible. After about an hour and a half, you will arrive at the panoramic viewpoint, a welcome stop to have a drinks break and enjoy the peace and quiet. The half-day course was brilliant, but at the same time I was glad that it ended because I was starving and I needed some coffee and sketty. After lunch we were straight back into the next activity, Pong Cave. First involves a bit of a demonstration of how to end it all if life gets too mundane. The walk down to the cave starts just near the log cabins, only a couple hundred metres away from the rock viewpoint. So finished the half-day zip line about 12:30ish because it was a big group. There's just a lot of lining up for the zip lines. I stopped filming eventually. They all kind of look the same at the end of the day, especially on film. Still recommend doing it. Personally, I wouldn't do the full-day one. I think the 2-hour one would be enough for most people. If you want to do a few more, then do the half-day. Now I'm just taking off on the Tham Pong Cave. just like the one I've got in my car. Our walk is only about 2 or 3 minutes. Not a long walk. It's nice. It's basically a descent straight down. That's where we're going. This is insane, just hanging here, trying to keep track of what's not tied down, like this 360 camera, and try not to lose attention and just drop it to the floor. This is a 90-metre abseil, and I don't think many people do this one, just because of the cost, but pretty good so far. I've no idea how good this is going to look on the camera. As always, I don't think it does it justice, but this is like being in another world. Alright, so that's Tham Pong Cave. I think we're going to head up now using the winch. Could sit here for hours and look at it. I'm not sure the camera does it justice, but yeah, we're about 90 metres down from where we took off from, and it's very peaceful down here. Got it all to myself as well, which is always a plus for me. I do like to get away from the crowds. As far as caves go, Laos has some of the best I've ever been in. Just one of the better things I've done, I think. Hopefully I remember it, and hopefully the camera shows it up as good as it really was. Just getting winched up 90 metres now, which is good, don't have to press it up. Yeah, some of the views, it's just crazy. That they found it for a start, and then there you can do things like this. All of this without a camera strap. Pretty risky, especially when your hands start getting sweaty. That's where we came from. There you go, that's Tham Pong Cave. Alright guys, that's it for the rock viewpoint. That's a full day, 2 half-day activities. Don't know which one you thought looked better. The zip line definitely packs more in, but there's also a lot of waiting if you're in a big group, waiting for everyone to take off in the zip line. Tham Pong Cave is a very unique experience. Not many times you get to drop down 90-metre abseil. Having that extra day on the Thakhek Loop has allowed me to do both of those activities. You can still visit the rock viewpoint doing the normal Thakhek Loop. You'll just do one of the half-day activities and then drive back to
or ride back to Thakhek that afternoon. Having this full day has freed up another half-day activity, but it's also freed up my drive back to Thakhek morning. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, just in case it doesn't work out. Not many people do it, but I'm going to try to check out a place called Tham Heup Cave, similar to Kong Lor. It goes through out the other side, where there's an abandoned temple and supposedly an old village. Failing that, I'll tick off some of the activities I didn't get done on day one, but that really is time permitting because I'm going to be pushing it a lot tomorrow to try and get all this stuff done. Just leaving Nam Thuen, it's about 6:30. So plans for today are really, I have plans. I just don't understand a lot about how they're going to play out because there's not a lot of information online. So I'm actually heading to the Rock Viewpoint for breakfast just because it's 20 minutes closer to Thakhek and they open half an hour earlier than a lot of places in Nam Thuen seem to open at 7:30. So yeah, I saved myself about 50 minutes just by going there, 20 minutes on the ride and half an hour earlier opening. So the doors do open at 7, but the food doesn't get served till 7:30. Because I've already parked up and come down here and decided to take a few more photos and stuff, it's no point leaving now. I'm just going to stick around another 10 minutes and then they'll be serving food and then we'll head off to, hopefully, Tham Nang Cave, which is a bit of a more unknown one. There's not much info on it, so hopefully I can figure out some things as I go and clear it up for other people who want to do it.
Having done a full day's worth of activities yesterday at the Rock, it freed up this morning on the ride to Thakhek to visit Tham Nang Cave. I'd done a little bit of research, looking at the front page of the Google search results. I knew already about the cave and the tour that was involved and the golden Buddha statue just outside the other side, but I also saw these new mentions of an ancient temple or an ancient city consistently referenced as being 3 to 4 kilometres away from the cave entrance. I went into today fully believing that there was an ancient city or temple about 3 to 4 kilometres from the cave entrance. This explains a lot of what I go on to talk about throughout the course of the video. I've since found out more information about this, which I'll share later on in the video. So off I went, heading south on Road 13, all the way to Ban Na Kok, turning east or left at the town of Sam Bon, heading out towards the river.
Okay, so I haven't filmed much of this morning since leaving the Rock. You come down the hill from Nam Thuen and all that, and the roads are really bad. But then eventually when you turn south, you're on the main highway heading south. It's flat, you can pin it back, you can do 100 Ks. Just turned down a gravel road now, heading to Ban Na Kok. So yeah, we'll see what time we get there.
The road out to these villages along the river is in pretty good condition these days. It doesn't turn to gravel until right near the river itself.
Google's telling me I've arrived, but there's nothing here. All right, another lesson that I should already know by now, but don't follow Google Maps. If you look on maps.me, the place that you want, Ban Na Kok, is in a different location. And when you're actually physically here, the signs are Ban Katai, so it's Katai village.
In Southeast Asia, Google is only worth it to get you to the general area. After that, it's better to switch to maps.me for more accurate information. Once I rode into the town itself, it felt like I was in another world, 100 years ago.
This is awesome. Feels like I've gone back in time. I've no idea what's going on. Not a word of English spoken, but they seem to give me a ticket, so I think this is going ahead. But I've been standing here for 5 minutes now, unsure.
I don't know what it means, but there's a smile upon your face, and I see something.
Yeah, when they're talking to me, I literally have no idea what they're saying. And then they just say it again, slower and louder. Doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. Yeah, it's pretty funny to be on the other side of that exchange now. I mean, I haven't even done anything yet, but this seems so much better than all the other touristy stuff. There's literally no one here. No one speaks English. 30,000, 35,000 kip, I think it was from memory. I'm unsure on what that involves, as well as the cave, whether we get to see the temples, but we'll find out. So the boat ride's all of 30 seconds and then you start the hike towards the cave. We're approaching the limestone cliff face now. Yeah, maybe a kilometre hike, and then the cave system itself is 1.1 kilometres through to the other side. I believe there's some wading involved, so I put shorts on and my water shoes. It does make hiking difficult afterwards because you get a little bit of sand in there. It's quite uncomfortable.
Do not give in. were slowly fading in my mind.
Right, pretty surprised actually that I made it to Tham Heup. I was sceptical about being able to find a guide in the town, especially after Google sent me to some abandoned place. And then I opened up maps.me, luckily. There's a different location for Bangkok, and then if you look at the actual signs while you're riding around, it's not even called that, it's called Pha Katai. So now you know, you won't get lost like me, although I was only about 2 kilometres off course. But let's go into the cave. Hopefully we can get to the temple on the other side. It's going to be really hard communicating with the guides because they don't speak English. So far so good. Now I do believe that we do have to wade through water, so I've taken everything out of my pockets, put it up high. As long as I don't stack it, all my camera gear should be safe. They've put all these little bags in just to make the floor a bit more sturdy, I think. Keeps you a little bit higher out of the water. The highest I've gone so far is knee deep. Might be thigh deep for people a little bit shorter, but it won't get much deeper than that. Done that many caves now in the loop, it's impossible to even remember them all. In my head I was trying to rank them all, but they all offer something different. This one would be right at the top though. But this is kind of like Nam Non Cave. The ceiling's not as impressive, but it's got the added benefit of all these pools of water. And same as Nam Non, no lights at all. You just walk through with your head torch. But the advantage of this one only being 1.1 kilometres is that you get another cave entrance to come out of. You're not just walking into the abyss. I think we're approaching the exit now. One man's exit is another man's entrance, but for me today it's an exit first before it's an entrance. I feel like I can see a little bit more light. Maybe it's a hole in the roof. Alright, we made it. This entrance is more impressive than the other one. Got a lot of little rocks and sandstone and stuff in my shoes, so don't really want to hike too far. I could do another K or so. Hopefully it's not a big 3 kilometre walk. This is what I came for, was the cave, just to walk through. Any temples and that would just be a bit of a bonus. Yeah, it's a nice little addition for the last day. By doing that extra night on the tour, it gave me another half day yesterday and half a day today, basically, before having to ride down to Thakhek. Just approaching some hut in the forest now. Again, we've probably walked about 1 kilometre. I'm not really sure, but I think it's been about 10 minutes. Again, the beauty of this is that I have no context. I'm just walking through the jungle or the forest and seeing things as I see them. It's kind of good. Alternatively, if you did want to do this with English-speaking guides, the place that runs the rock Viewpoint is like Green Discovery Laos, but they do run tours out here as well. It'll cost you a lot more than 30,000 kil, but it's different. This is interesting, just walking with no guidance. It's kind of cool in its own way. But then if you did want to know about the villages that you're walking through, like the one we're walking through now, or the history of the cave, you could always do that Green Discovery Laos tour. Hey, pup, what you doing? What's that? The dogs are friendly, but they're always scared of the camera and the gimbal. It's just a weird looking sort of thing to be holding. So they're a little bit standoffish. But I do love meeting the dogs of each town. So this village on the other side of Tham Pa Cave is the one with the Buddha statue. Look, I've read things about there being some abandoned temple or abandoned city somewhere, but it also said that was 3 to 4 kilometres away. And I feel like my big toe's about to start bleeding just because of all the rocks. I've cleaned out my shoes, but it still feels a bit sore. So doing a 6 to 8 kilometre loop, as well as trying to communicate this with the guides, just seems a bit far-fetched for today, when I really need to make it back to Thakhek to get the bus to Paxi tonight. So I'm just going to go meet the guides. Hopefully we head back, and then I'll start making my way back to Thakhek.
I couldn't help but shake the feeling that something just wasn't quite adding up. This was both when I was there, but even more so when I was editing the video. Going on to the second page, I found a few more relevant results. You have to filter through a few blog posts who for some reason love to mention the cave without ever having done it, just because they can. Starting with the ruins of Iran, this is a not so well formatted post, but it has some good information. It mentions this ruined city of Iran, which is most easily accessible through the Tham Heup cave. It also mentions that the site has been renovated by Buddhist pilgrims. Further down, it has photos of this exact site that we're at now, with captions mentioning that the golden Buddha statue marks this holy site. The next most relevant result that I found was from Hobo Maps. Here it mentions the cost being 50,000 kip to take a boat across and for the guide as well. This is a lot less than what I paid in the end. After that, it mentions an optional 30-minute walk on the other side of the cave, bringing you to an ancient temple. Although 30 minutes is a very slow pace to walk 1 kilometre, I think that's more in line with walking 1 kilometre to where we are now, compared to the supposed 3 to 4 kilometres that the other websites mention. This points to where we are now being this ancient temple. Megaworld Asia has a post which has some information about these secret village tours. Nowhere does it mention a 3 to 4 kilometre walk. Their YouTube video, which I hadn't seen at the time, has this interesting bit here with video footage and a caption saying that the guide mentions that these stone pillars are 600 years old. So I was completely unaware at the time, but it is now my belief that where we were was the ancient city or the ancient temple. I believe the other websites simply copied each other. One of them, for some reason, came up with this 3 to 4 kilometre number and the rest just copied. It's a shame that these are the first results on Google Maps because they are incorrect. This golden Buddha statue is marking the site of an ancient city or temple.
It's like a little oasis there. The water looks pristine, a few fish swimming around. Light just sort of reflecting through the trees. Little paradise, aqua water, turquoise, whatever you want to call it, black, green, red. Starting to walk back now through the cave. So this is kind of the end of the Thakhek Loop now. You're basically right into Thakhek. There's not too much more to see. This has been Tham Heup. It's definitely off the beaten path for now. 30,000 kip plus, no English speaking guides and all that. It's still very much on the lesser explored side, that's for sure. Maybe one day it'll be a little bit more developed or overdeveloped, who knows, but for now it still feels like you're getting off that Thakhek Loop a little bit and exploring something that not many other people get to see. So highly recommend the Tham Heup one. I'm doing this on the same day that I gotta go back to Thakhek, but if you did this on a full day where you didn't have to go anywhere, there are other caves and other trails on maps.me. Anyway, that's it for Tham Heup. Going back is going to be much the same as the way we came. Just going to take less photos and videos so it's a bit quicker.
Even without filming too much, it's still a good 40-minute walk back to the river to catch the boat across.
Now, just a word of warning, as you leave Tham Heup, they will try and make you tip the guides, which is fine. I was going to give them 50k each, didn't have any change though, so I had to hand over 100. In the end, I handed over 100 per guide. It's a little bit annoying. They don't do anything except take you across the river. The rest of it I could have done myself. They don't tell you anything about the area. All they do is walk next to you or behind you, and I didn't ask for 2 guides. So in the end, with the tips, it was 230,000. So comparing it to Kong Law for a single person was 300,000, which to me doesn't seem too bad. I would pay 230,000 if that was the cost straight up. It just annoyed me because after I paid the 100,000 per guide,
they were saying that I needed to pay another 100,000, and they had this bloke there standing there, and I was looking at him like, you're not going to do anything, mate, I'll walk straight through you. So in the end I just turned the scooter on and rode away, but kind of sours the whole thing. The only thing you really need is the boat ride. Sours it a little bit, but still recommend doing. I would recommend you set your price with the guides at the start, maybe ask for one guide if you can, and just pay them up front, and then don't get stitched up at the end. Not that 100,000 per guide is a stitch up, but it's on the steeper side. Alright guys, so I just finished up the Thakhek Loop. I'm in the 4,000 Islands now. I just wanted to give a little bit of a debrief of my experiences, lessons learned, etc. First thing I'd say is that take a jacket when you're renting a scooter and riding. If you leave early morning or arrive late at night or even late afternoon, it gets cold. If you really want, you could go gloves as well. It's worth wearing long pants and sleeves while you're riding just to stop you getting too much sunburn. The other thing I would say is day one is the busiest day. Day two, there is not really much to see except for Dragon Cave. So I'd almost split up the day one and day two activities, and in order to do all of them, do a couple of the day one activities on day two. It might involve a bit of backtracking or staying somewhere other than Pha Lang, but I think it could be worth it. For the Tham Heup cave, I'd recommend bringing a clean pair of shoes in your bag as you go through and putting them on, because the little rocks and grit that get in your water shoes, you don't want to be hiking 3 or 4 Ks in that. Having like a head buff or something, or a scarf to go around your mouth, is especially helpful if you are riding late at night when the bugs come out, but also just being behind the trucks all the time. They tend to kick up a lot of dust, and sometimes things like dripping off the back of the trucks and stuff splash up into your face. It's pretty gross. You definitely want to have sunglasses for the ride. It allows you to go a lot faster without, similar to the head buff for your mouth and nose, but without getting things in your eyes. So have sunglasses, even clear safety glasses if you don't want to wear sunglasses. You've got to have something on your eyes. A lot of the helmets that you get with the rentals are rubbish. You can't see through the visors anyway. Now, if I was to do it again and I wasn't on a schedule, for example, and I was just doing it for an open-ended amount of time, I would probably add another 2 nights. That's just because if I really wanted to see everything, I could have done more in Nam Non Cave, and I could have potentially done more in Tham Heup Cave, although that would have been really difficult to organise considering the lack of English amongst the people that take you through that cave. So realistically, I did 4 nights, 5 days. I think if you are a completionist, you want to see everything and do everything to its maximum, and as well as enjoy the time that you have there, I'd actually recommend 6 nights, 7 days. And I know that seems a lot more extreme considering a lot of people do it in 3 nights, 4 days, but that's only if you really want to see everything and go at a pace where you can enjoy everything instead of rushing around. I did 4 nights, 5 days. Pretty happy with that. I think I saw most of the good stuff, if not all of the good stuff, to some small extent. Maybe not exploring as far as I would have liked to have, but yeah, I can't complain with my itinerary either. So just to give you an idea, day 1 I rode 124 kilometres, day 2 159 kilometres, day 3 and 4 between them was 87 kilometres, not much on those days because you're around the Kong Lor area. Day 5 I rode 190 kilometres, so that total was 560 kilometres. I used 11.85 litres of fuel, cost me 264,000 kit. That is 2.12 litres per 100k for those that are interested. So 250 to 300,000 on fuel, maybe less if you're only doing a 3-night tour, and there are plenty of places to fill up, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. I had an automatic 125cc. Part of that was just because where I hired it from, they had the luggage rack on the back of the automatics, but not the semi-autos. I don't think you need a semi-auto. It is mostly flat. There are maybe 2 mountain passes up around Na Hin, Kong Lor, and they are not challenging at all. So yeah, you can easily do this one in automatic. I had a 125 just for the comfort factor, as well as the fact that it had the luggage rack on the back and a really nice phone holder. So I went for the 125 and don't regret it. Gets up to 100, 110 on the straights. It makes that last day, which is pretty boring along the highway, just go a little bit quicker. So yeah, I can't really say too much more about Thakhek Loop. Definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, feel free not to do it in 3 nights or 4 days like everybody else does it. Feel free to do it a little bit longer at a slower pace. I don't think you'll regret it. All right, thanks for watching.